Hey, what up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome today to a new episode of the FIFA 20 Ultimate Team Road to Glory. This is episode number 17, and today's episode is powered by my sponsor Elgato Gaming and the HD60S capture card, the key lights and the green screen that I'm using to film this video for you today. If you are an aspiring content creator, then look no further than these types of products. I'll leave a link down below in the description where you can learn more about them. So let's get into the episode then. Obviously, right at the start, I need to ask you to smash that thumbs up button on the episode because I know you can do it, and we have still been killing it every single day. Thank you so much for that. So keep showing that support, and of course don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Turn that notification bell on so you don't miss an upload. Coin wise, we're sitting on about 43k. We sold a Kieran Gibbs for 3.5k because he is part of the National Pride SBC that we're not focusing on just now because it is super overpriced. But we've gone out and we brought this man. We've gone and brought a Brazilian, Felipe Anderson. He is a default midfielder, and he's also in the Premier League. So that's going to help us get that final Premier League goal in a win that we need. And of course, being a default midfielder, I figured that he would be a good one to replace Ousmane Dembele with when we play in game, so that we're surrounding Eden Hazard by a bunch of default midfielders, which are going to help us complete midfield maestro. Or so I thought, anyway. But we go on into a bunch of division rivals matches today, and I don't know exactly where I start in terms of skill rating, but I think by the end of the episode, I work my way down. Not up, but down. I am seriously struggling. Now, I know I've said this in the last couple of episodes, but whatever it is, I can't quite get to grips with it. I've got a feeling that part of what's going wrong is that I am forcing myself to try and do stuff to complete objectives. So I am just always looking to try and get that ball to a default midfielder so that I can get an assist with him, rather than playing like the smart play, or pushing the smart ball through, or taking the shot when I need to. And I hope that that's kind of the issue. Just because otherwise we're in serious trouble. We've got the weekend league coming up on us, and I don't know what I'm going to do if I start coming up against people that are of this sort of skill rating, because I am losing a lot of games. I mean, this particular game right here, I go 2-0 up in it, and we're looking like we're doing all right. I figured I'd probably... I got a goal with Felipe Anderson, so that is a Brazilian goal. If we can win this match, which I'm desperate to do, then of course we're going to get that next little part of the challenge done, and we're going to be all good. So we do come away with a 2-1 victory, and hopefully I can show you on the objectives that we get that part of the Premier League stuff done. Up to 1,400-ish points. I still need over 500 to get into the weekend league. We are at 1,383 skill rating, pushing our way back up into rank 2 once again. Not for long, no doubt, because the points are going up so very fast. But all in is complete. We scored a goal using Premier League player in 4 separate rivals wins. We've now done that, and it's given us a premium gold pack. Only thing left to do now is get a whole bunch of assists in separate matches for midfield maestro. So from the premium gold pack, we end up getting ourselves nothing special. The pack luck has gone today. No, we just get Caligiuri, who actually looks like a pretty well-rounded player you could bring on as a centre midfielder, like a substitute perhaps, but yeah, we're probably not going to use him. He will just be fodder for SBCs and stuff down the line. So next match we go into, it's a tricky squad. It's kind of like got all of the meta players that cost a lot of money at the start of the game. You can tell that this guy would know what he's doing with the sort of squad that he's put together there. So into the match we go, and I'm not going to lie, I got gifted the very first goal. Goalkeeper plays it out, I run in with Eden Hazard, and I get the goal. So that's not going to help us towards midfield maestro, but it is of course going to help us maybe get some extra weekend league point, or get some extra rank points to unlock the weekend league. And actually he decides to rage quit on me after, again, he like passed it to me a couple of times, as if like he was making lots of passing errors, lots of mistakes there, and I don't know whether he'd just like reached the end of his the final straw there, but we got the rage quit, which is actually a nice quick win, a nice quick 600 points, and of course a quick 80 points towards the weekend league. Next match, the guy's got Mbappe. He's got a real nice team actually. Pogba, Frankie, Griezmann, Longley, like all of the sorts of players that are just very, very difficult to play against on this game. And it took a while for him to actually break the deadlock. And that was actually off of a counter-attack from a corner that I had. So I felt a little bit disheartened with that one. And then in the second half, Martial gets into the box. Griezmann, I mean, like I literally blocked the tap-in shot from Griezmann. It falls straight back to him. What can you do? It happens sometimes. And we live, we learn, and we end up losing 2-0 in that match, even though I had 14 shots in the game. I got to work on that, right? I need to be a lot more clinical with my shooting if we're going to do anything in the weekend league. But we are at 6 out of 10 for midfield maestro. There is still a long way to go. I've still got lots to focus on, lots to unlock. And I actually just bought a couple of Prem bronzes for a couple of 100 coins and sold them for 250. I really just needed that for a little like graphical thing for a thumbnail. But we ended up making a little bit on profit anyway. So that was a win-win. I literally needed the little circle with the green tick for a thumbnail, but I end up making a tiny bit of profit at the same time, which is obviously buzzing. So we go into the next match. We get a goal with Frankie de Jong, who I've been deciding to obviously play as a central cam in the 4-2-3-1 for this episode, because I figured we'd move away from the 4-1-2-1-2 if something wasn't clicking there, and see if we can make my old trusty 4-2-3-1 work. Frankie as a central cam means that he can get assists. We would obviously take Usman off and bring on Felipe Anderson as a wide cam, and we'd also have Fekir out on the other wide cam. So it's like there's 3 different midfielders there that are default midfielders that would get the assist for me with and Hazard can score the goals. And that's sort of what I thought, but I did kind of figure out, and I think I've sort of worked it out, but it's a little bit more difficult than what I'm about to explain to actually figure out. Now, so the midfield maestro thing itself says that it needs to be a default midfielder, and they literally explain that default means before a position change is added. So that can be any player that is by default left mid, right mid, central, defensive mid, centre mid, and cam, right? That is by default what they can be. So Hazard, who is a default left winger, can't get assists in this for this challenge, even if you moved him down. But, if you modified his position to a left midfielder, his default position is a left winger, so he can't technically get the assist. And that's what I thought. So that's kind of what I was working off of. And that's why I bought Felipe Anderson, who is a default left mid. It's why I've been bringing on Kai Havertz, who is a default cam. Even though my Felipe Anderson has like a left forward card applied. My Havertz has a striker card applied. My Frankie de Jong, a default centre mid, has a centre forward card applied at the moment. So they're all moved out into attacking positions, but their default is literally midfielder. And this is where I've been stumbling a little bit. So I've been going into games and getting assists with these guys, especially assists with Frankie, and coming away, and it just hasn't been adding towards my tally. And it's been winding me up like crazy. And I think I've wasted a couple of days doing this, just like can't figure out what's going on. And you'll see later on in the episode how we're able to actually like fix it and solve it. But actually, there's more of an issue in the fact that someone was telling me that they were using Pepe, the Arsenal midfielder, the Arsenal right mid. They were using Pepe, and he is a default right midfielder, so that makes sense. You could get your assist with him. But then someone also moved him up to a right winger, and he could still get the assists, which means that even if your default is correct, and then you move away from your default into an attacking position, that would still count. But I feel like you can actually move a default attacker, so you could move Eden Hazard to a left mid by using the left wing to left mid modifier, and then his assist would count. And I didn't figure this out for a very long time, and it's just not written like that in the actual objective itself. So I have pointed that out to hopefully get some clarification on all of this type of stuff, because it was just a little bit confusing, because I've literally been sat there for a couple of days trying to get assists with Frankie de Jong, Havertz, and Felipe Anderson, all who I've got attacking position modifiers on them. So that's a little bit frustrating, and it has wasted a bit of time, but we eventually do figure it out. And this match right here, that guy was so defensive. Genuinely, I went 1-0 up, and I just like held the ball at my halfway line, and he had 10 men behind the ball, and it was so very frustrating to end up losing to him, especially with the shushes after each of his goals. Just such a real toxic player that was obviously playing like super high depth and drop back and stuff, which I wasn't a massive fan of. But then we go into this match right here. Did you just see that? I just got completely pannered by Alex Teixeira. I went in and actually made a challenge with Lucas Hernandez, but whilst lunging for the challenge, he just knocked the ball through my legs, which was actually class from him. But I don't know what more I could have done to maybe defend it, apart from not making a challenge, I guess. But we get back in this match pretty quick, so it's not the end of the world that we went 2-0 down. And Frankie de Jong, who actually has terrible shooting, managed to score quite a nice, powerful shot right there. But this game wasn't to be. It wasn't to go my way. And it was a nice goal there from Anderson Talisca. And then, I mean, Zaha was pretty much riding my challenges all game and still keeping the ball, even though I was tackling him. He gets through and knocks it into, again, Talisca to make it 4-2. He's going to get a fifth goal right here. It just drops to Teixeira, who somehow just whips past Lucas Hernandez again, making him look like he's not even there. He's just a ghost at this point, and makes it 5-2. So I got fully destroyed, but one kind of nice goal where I was actually able to use the dribbling to my advantage, actually able to slow the play down and move players quite nicely. That particular game actually felt quite responsive, which was nice. It was nice for a change. I don't really mind losing a game if it's against a better opponent and the game feels responsive. But most of the time in Rivals so far, it's just felt really heavy. So I do hope that that's something that gets addressed in the future. So this is when I was like, what's going on? I'm at 8 out of 10 and I just can't. I'm getting assists. I don't understand what's going on. And I've cut out maybe like a couple of games from this episode as well, because like I just like lost them or whatever, or things weren't counting and stuff. So as you can see, I spent a couple of thousand coins on a couple of position modifiers here, and I've switched my formation up just so that this kind of works. Hazard's going to play on 7 chem for a game, but it doesn't really matter. And here we go. So now Usman, now Frankie, and now Eden, they're all in midfielder positions. And this is when I go into a game here, and if I get an assist and stuff and it counts, then I realise, oh my god, it's actually working. And the other 8 or so that I must have had must have literally come from like Ndombele or Fekir or Sissoko getting assists, which is obviously not that often, because I've been bringing Fekir off, and Ndombele and Sissoko are both defensive midfielders for me, so that's kind of why it was taking an awful long time. I end up going like 2-0 down in this game, but I can kind of bring it back a little bit. Maybe try and get a goal and stuff. Sissoko knocks it into De Jong, into Hazard, gets past that defender and scores the goal across the goalkeeper. Nice one. And that would hopefully count as an assist. Hazard knocks it out wide to Ousmane Dembele, back into to Hazard, and that's a lovely goal. And we basically bring this game back to a draw nice and quick with 2 very, very actual tidy goals that felt nice. Fekir then in the second half gets through, opens up his body and hits me with a finesse shot, and that right there is 3-2 up. We turned the game around. We ended up winning the game, and I'm pretty sure at that point in time, 1800 skill points now, or rank points, whatever they are. We are getting close to the weekend league. I know that we've only got a day or so when you're watching this, but we will get there. Don't you worry about that. Even if I have to stay up through the night to make sure I get the points, I will get them. And hallelujah, we are able to complete midfield maestro simply because of those position change things that I made right there. It seemed to actually work out for me then. And ones to watch, Ndombele is going to be ours. Finally. Now, we use Ndombele, so we can sell the one that we've got, and that's going to make us an extra 9,000 coins or something, and we can use this ones to watch version that, of course, obviously has chances to get boosted over time and stuff, which is a very, very nice thought. If we can get a nice early inform for Ndombele and get a lovely little boost, that will even help our team out even more. So from the reward pack for completing midfield maestro, we ended up getting ourselves a whopper of a Guardado. No, nothing crazy. We just get Guardado right there. So the packs haven't been amazing today, but we've only really opened a couple of reward packs, nothing special. But there's, again, 12 players there, one of which is rare, that are going to be useful for SBCs. Now, Ndombele sells for 9,000 coins on the dot, and we can simply replace him with our second ones to watch player in the Road to Glory. Welcome Ndombele's ones to watch into the squad. Now, this is where we're going to end the episode today, but I will, of course, adjust my team accordingly. We can sell Felipe Anderson now that he's, it's pointless. We don't need him anymore. He's not fitting into our squad, and that's going to bring us back up to sort of 50k plus, knowing that we've got Hazard, we've got Frankie, we've got Usman, we've got Ndombele, we've got some expensive players in the team. I wonder if there's a way that we can maybe even improve the squad. So I haven't moved their positions back yet, because I might actually make some changes again, knowing that we got the weekend league coming up. I might try 4-4-2, I might try a different formation. So maybe we've got too many like defensive midfielders at this point in time. I'll try and figure it out. I'll maybe make a change for the next episode. And of course, we've got Rivals rewards at some point in time over the next episode or two to look forward to. Guys, that's going to wrap things up. Hit me with a thumbs up button on today's video. I think we can smash at least 4,000 likes on this episode. Let's go for that. 4k likes is your target. Go for it. Smash it. Thank you in advance. Come follow me on social media. My Twitter and Instagram links are down below in the description. And most importantly, have a wonderful day, everyone. I will catch you tomorrow with another episode. Peace.